Okay, Itamik good morning. It is just past 10 o'clock in the AM on Moon Day, October 15th, 2018, in the lunar cycle Itotstoi when cold arrives. And actually, it's pretty warm this morning. I'm wearing shorts and I'm comfortable, though I'm topped with a sweater and toque. But my iPhone is prognosticating that we're gonna get in the double digits today, Celsius, and then by middle of the week could even get up to 20 degrees. So I'm gonna be throwing my rattlesnake transport case back into the Jeep just in case, you know, there might be a 1 or 2 year old still out there on the move this week that bumps into some people. But it has been pretty quiet wildlife wise. This morning I just finished releasing a skunk. That's why I'm out this way. I've been getting skunk calls about 1 a morning, but this morning was on Ryerson on the west side here, and this is the second skunk that I've pulled out of this residence. This may be the last one that they had. They originally just saw 2 skunks, so now we've caught 2, and both of them I've released at Cottonwood Park. Yesterday was quiet. There wasn't any skunk calls, surprisingly. I just did my regular Sunday morning walk and talk at Spobikimi, which was eventful. I didn't do a lot of filming or anything. Not much that we haven't already seen from my walk last week, but yeah, there was a lot of birds and stuff, and the beavers were active in the morning and all of that, which is always fun to see. Then in the afternoon yesterday, I got my first wildlife call, and that was a snake call, surprisingly. It took me to Riverstone. Somebody there, one of the residents, had been blowing out his sprinkler system. You know, at the end of the season, if you have automated sprinklers, you pretty much have to hire a service to come in and blow some high pressure air through the system so that you don't have water in your hoses over the winter freezing and breaking your stuff underground, right? So they were doing that at one of the Riverstone Grand River Boulevard addresses yesterday, and they saw this serpent tail down in the sprinkler box where all the hoses and stuff attach. They said it was a light color background with dark lateral stripes, and so I was thinking that they might have had a bull snake or something like that, so I headed out to go over there. On my way, buddy phoned me back and said he thinks it's just a salamander, but he would still appreciate if I moved him. So I went and got him. It was a tiger salamander, a young one, much smaller than Monster. And I brought him home, put him into Monster's enclosure. But you know, looking at the temperatures this week, I'm definitely going to be able to do a release of him. Probably even today, if I get the chance, an opportunity, I'll come out and do a release of him. But right now, he is at the house. So I had that go on yesterday, and that was really my only wildlife work. I did get a message through Facebook from somebody in Moses Lake, which is on the Blood Reserve on the far south end, about an hour's drive for me to get down there, and she has a badger issue. So I'm going to be talking to her live some point today on the phone to discuss what we might be able to do for her. Given her distance from me, it's going to be a little tough. She's going to have to play an active role in the trapping. I'll come do the release, but I think it'll be cost prohibitive if I have to drive down there and set up the trap and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. I got to check in with Costco too, see how the sparrow hunt is going. In fact, I'll just probably update on a lot of the different projects today. I do expect to have a little bit of a busy day. I've got a lot of errands and stuff to take care of. I don't have any formal work today. But I've got a lot of catching up to do. I started doing some of that stuff yesterday afternoon when I switched out spark plugs on the Jeep. Just taking advantage of this little warm pocket of weather, this 10 degrees or whatever we're at, to switch out spark plugs. About a month ago, my engine light in the Jeep turned on, and I don't know if the spark plugs is what is caused it or what, but that's my first strike basically. I don't have the resources really to go to the mechanics and get them to look at the Jeep again, you know, after already having the transmission thing fixed earlier in the summer, and then having to get new tires, and then having to take Fizz for his emergency at the vet. I'm really out of those kind of resources. Gotta pay bills. So I'm hoping to solve this dilemma on my own, and I'm starting with spark plugs because it's been forever, I think. I don't know if these spark plugs have ever been changed out even in this Jeep. I certainly haven't in my term of ownership here. Oh, that's really stuck. Alright, so I got it out of there. Looks pretty bad. This is the old spark plug. You know, compare that with the new one, you know, side by side with the new one. Quite a difference. So yeah, hopefully once these spark plugs are all changed out, then my engine light will turn off and I'll be good for the winter. We'll see. Unfortunately, about a month ago, my check engine light came on in the Jeep. It's on still. I had hoped that changing out spark plugs would be the fix that I needed, but apparently not, unless there's some way that I have to reset the check engine light. So I'm going to be looking into that today too. But there could still be something terribly wrong with the Jeep. I don't know. But yeah, I've got some other errands and running around and stuff to do. While it's warm, I want to make sure to get my last mow on my lawn and all that kind of jazz. Probably do some work outside, take advantage of the warm weather, and we'll see what happens as far as wildlife goes. They might have some more calls today. We might not. Play it as it goes. So it's afternoon time now, and I've pretty much just been keeping close to the house, taking care of chores and other things. I mowed both our front and back lawn, and actually I took care of our leaves at the same time. We had a whole bunch of elm leaves out front here, and I don't know if you can see, but our neighbor installed this little iron fence dividing our lawn from theirs this summer, and I don't know if it was meant as a block, because the wind goes this way, you know, the prevailing winds goes this way, and I don't know if it was meant to block all the leaves from the elm tree from getting in his yard. But you can see it didn't work. His yard's the only one with leaves now, and mine is just kind of mulched because I just mowed over the leaves. No big deal. So yeah, I did a little lawn mowing. I took out some of our recyclables. I made a trip to the post office, and I trained some martial arts. Actually, I have a new student starting. Well, potential training partner, but I'm gonna have to train her, and she's family member pretty much. I shouldn't say pretty much. She's family member. She was married to one of my brother-in-laws, and they're divorced now, but as far as I'm concerned, she's still family with us. She climbed Chief Mountain with me one time, and she wants to start training martial arts, so she's coming Wednesday morning. She might actually do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, you know, for me, it's a real neat experience because it's a chance to train somebody fresh, who's never touched martial arts before, you know, and what do you start with? Because I was trained in traditional systems and in kickboxing and stuff to begin with, and you know, more recently I've played around with jiu-jitsu and KZ and stuff, but you know, I guess you start with some basics, but I'm gonna try to keep it more well-rounded, I think, than my introduction to martial arts in general, right? without going into too much depth that it's a turn off or a struggle to begin with. Anyway, I'm playing with how I'm gonna introduce her to martial arts, but I am gonna have to go run and grab Mahoney pretty quick. So I thought before I do that, I should show you the progress on some of the animals that are around the house that we're helping out, some of the wild animals. So I know there's been a few people who've asked about the bat in the shed out back. When I open the shed now, like I did to get the lawnmower today, there's no sign of the bat, though it might be concealed in there. I've got a lot of stuff in there, and I'm not gonna try to uncover it if it's in there, but so I'm not sure if it is or if it isn't. That's how the bat's doing. Salamander from yesterday, who I haven't really given a name to or anything, he's in here somewhere, and I don't want to disturb him because you've seen him on film from the pickup anyway, but he's still here. I haven't taken him to the drop-off spot yet, but probably today, tomorrow, sometime he's going to go out and be released. Let's look at Charlie. Charlie. Oh no. Charlie's upset. It's okay, Charlie. It's okay. Come on. Oh. Mopbeat. Just looking at you. So there's really nothing going on with Charlie. He's healing quite well. As you can see, he's still really alert and active and exploratory, and he seems to have good energy. So I think all is well with Charlie thus far, and I am strongly considering feeding him within the next week, because I think he's hungry. By the way, he's never struck inside of that enclosure, for anybody thinking that I'm putting him in some jeopardy of hurting himself striking. He has not. He's not done that yet, and I don't plan to force him into that. But in any case, Charlie's doing well. His healing's going good. I'm thinking next week I'll probably feed him. If I do, I will most likely film it. So when I put out that video, of course, I'm going to give fair warning for those that don't want to see an envenomation on film. I had one such video of this summer go viral, and I got so much hate mail, and I got millions of views, but for whatever reason, my monetization of it didn't help me at all. Like, I made like $20 on 1 million views or something, and it was like loads, hundreds of letters of hate mail. So I don't know what went on there, but I don't want that again. So there will be fair warning with any videos coming up. But yeah, Charlie's doing good. He's doing good. I think he's going to heal up quite well and be just fine. Now I'll show you. Some of you have asked about the crow that got attacked by the dog this summer, so I'm going to show you what's going on with our crows. I got 3 crows in upstairs crow room, which is not very clean at the moment, by the way. It's been probably a couple of weeks since I've done a real cleaning in here, and you know, over the winter here I plan to change things up and put tile on the walls and stuff so it's easier to clean, because yeah, I can't ever get all their crap off of the walls. Any case, I got 3 crows. You can see the one closest to the wall over here is Kira, who's an older crow. She was an adult when I picked her up 6 years ago or what have you, and she was badly damaged by impact with a car and will never fly again or anything like that, but has been living with us and has been fairly good. However, she gets the other crows to dislike me, because I think from the time I picked her up, she's always thought that I was the one that hit her with the car. The next one here that's kind of fidgeting right there, that one, unfortunately, we picked that one up I think about 3 or 4 years ago, and I adopted it out to somebody that neglected it, and not only neglected it but exposed it to small children that I think kind of tormented him. And he is really nervous whenever I'm around or whenever any human's around. He's often falling off of the perches and hurting himself nearly because he's just in so much of a panic. He's an abused crow basically, and I don't know what to do to help him, but he's with us or somebody long term. The one that's in the window is the dog-bitten one from this year, from earlier this summer, and I will let you look at how that one is doing in terms of its healing by having her demonstrate a little flight. Let's show them how you fly. Let's show them. Let's show them your big flight. Let's show them your big flight. There you go. There you go. Very good. Yeah, so she's getting her flight back. Well, she's got her flight back. I think this week might be even a good time to release her. Her left foot is a little swollen, but I think that might be due to exposure to the, she stands on the windowsill a lot, and there's always a lot of excrement on the windowsill, so I think she's having a reaction, skin reaction to the conditions in here. It's really hard to keep it clean in here because the surfaces that I'm working with, so that's my project. That's part of my big project this winter, is trying to resurface the floors and the walls in here so that the crows can have a much cleaner environment than they currently do. I come in, I clean in here maybe once every couple of weeks. But it's hard, it's difficult to clean, and that's why I go so long between. If I had floors that could easily be mopped or sprayed down with like a steamer or something, floors and walls, then I think they would have a much cleaner environment. So yeah, that's something that I'm trying to work on. But in terms of the crows rehabilitation, she's doing great. Might even let her go this week, back at the same place where I picked her up, with her, where her family is, or some members are probably still around. And yeah, she should be fine now. So all is well with these animals. That's Kira. She always announces when I'm coming downstairs. When I'm leaving the upstairs, she always makes the call to let everybody know that I'm moving. I'm moving to the other side of the house. Yeah, so that's kind of some updates there. I've got other animals here, but we don't need to talk about them today. And I smell one of the snakes has poopied somewhere and it's stinky, so I got to take care of that. It's kind of causing the room to stink. So, don't know if there'll be anything else for the evening, but if there is, you'll know it.